Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. So it's monthly favorites time. I know you guys really like these videos and I'm actually gonna switch it up a little bit today and I'm gonna start off by telling you my favorite thing. And I'm doing this for a reason. I don't know if there's like a lesson in this. Something happened to me and it made me very, very sad, but it's also a good and a bad thing. So this month I went to Supernova, which is like a comic cosplay. I don't know, it's a convention. I've never been to a convention in my life and I did not go like personally. I went actually for work, like my full-time job. I was kind of bummed because I did it on a weekend, on a Saturday, and I just kind of wanted to go in there, get some cool shots of people in cosplay and get out. Because it's more of like a comic book type, I don't know how to explain it. You guys know what I mean. Comic book and a video game type situation. I'm not really into that kind of side of stuff. So I was hoping that maybe I would come across something that was like horror related that I could, kind of get something out of it. I was walking through this festival with a camera, a tripod or a monopod, just carrying all this stuff, carrying like a mic. I turn this corner and none other than John Jarratt is sitting right in front of me. If you guys, I'm sure you know who he is Wolf Creek. Obviously Australian as well, which, he's one of the best Australian horror icons, really, he is. And I have never fangirled in my life like that. Like, I started fucking sweating. I was like, oh, I can't believe he's just sitting there. And he wasn't one of the guests that were on the panel either. It was just like he was there. And because I didn't really know much about Supernova going into it, because, I wasn't going personally and I only found out like a day before that I was gonna go, I didn't really look into the guests and stuff. I was just going for work. So it wasn't like I was gonna go and take time to get autographs. There was like just a couple of people standing around him, not very many people at all, no line. He was there promoting his film Boar, I believe. And so he had some Boar posters out in front of him, and he also had some Stan, which is the like Australian streaming service, kind of like Netflix, some Stan ones of his Wolf Creek TV series, which I haven't watched yet. I really need to get onto that. I saw him sitting there and I lost it. I was like, I can't believe he's right there. And then I see it's $40 and you can get an autograph, and he was doing like really personal, really nice autographs. Like I was seeing, he wrote on girls and he got a selfie with her, and I was like, that is something that is worth money to me, because it's something that I was there randomly, something that happened. I got so excited, I got so flustered, and I asked the guy, I said, do you guys take card? I didn't have any cash on me. And the guy said, no, we don't take card, we take tokens. And we take, cash. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This place is so hard to get through. People in costumes, people do not understand personal space in like conventions, as I've learnt. Me with a big camera, it's just impossible. So I'm like stressing out and I'm going, fuck, I really, really want this. Pretty much I went on a walk to try and find something. Long story short, I stood in an ATM line to get cash out for 20 minutes. Freaking out that he's probably gonna leave. Get to the very front, the ATM machine, I've never seen this happen, went out of order. So I couldn't do it. And I never been so sad, and it sounds really emotional, but where I'm from, and I know where a lot of you guys are from, you don't get opportunities like that. I know a lot of people in America get to go to conventions all the time, but I never get an opportunity like that. Especially where I live in Australia, because I don't live on the East Coast, I live on the West Coast, so I don't get those opportunities. And it was soul crushing. I was like, I could have had this amazing moment where I went to my first convention and I met this guy. And then eventually when I have a horror setup, which I'm planning on doing eventually, I could have had that framed and it would have been the most awesome thing ever. But there's that moment where you think, fuck, I was really lucky that I even saw him. I was just wandering around aimlessly, like filming. So I was lucky that I saw him, but it also was like the best and the worst thing. I took this photo and I'm glad I got that. But it was a very sad moment, and it was a weird thing to reflect on for me. The reason I'm telling you guys this is because I, got home and I was really upset about it, and I told Dean, and he was great. Like, he's obviously super supportive, but no one would really understand in real life how it feels to be like that. And it was just a sucky situation. And I just wanted to share that with something that happened to me this month that, kind of threw me off a little bit and made me pretty sad. But he was such a lovely guy. There was a woman who was in front of me who was deaf, and he was like trying to sign to her. Then there was the American guy who was also in front of me, and the American guy kind of like fangirled a little bit, and John was just so nice. Like he goes, "Oh, Mr. Jarrett, blah, blah." He goes, "No, my name is John." It was just, it was awesome. I think that it was awesome because I saw someone that I really admire and respect be a really cool person, but I was just bummed that I didn't get to go that extra mile and have a memento, but I'm glad it happened. I don't know why I'm telling you this story. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna get into my monthly favorites now, but that was my favorite thing, horror-related, definitely, that happened, and I knew I had to tell you guys. So let's go straight on to Letterboxd. You guys know the drill. My name is Spooky Astronaut, and if you wanna follow me, I will follow you back. I'm gonna go back to the start of the month. First thing I watched at the start of the month, I can hardly remember this, I Am Jane Doe. It's a documentary about sex trafficking. It's a subject that I feel really strongly about, and you know when you watch those documentaries and you know you're not gonna feel good about them, but you feel like you need to know. But I just didn't think it was put together very well, which is my issue. But speaking about that, I do wanna mention that there is an app called Traffic Cam. I'll put the spelling here and the link maybe down below. And this is really good. This is something that every single one of you guys should have this app. Pretty much what happens is anytime you go into a hotel room, you take a photo of the hotel room, and then they can use that in this app, and they have a person that they are pursuing perhaps for being trafficked. They can link up where they are or anywhere in the world if people start using this app. The app's been around for a year or two, but really, really recommend doing that. And if you can remember to take a picture in each hotel, you're doing such a good thing to help prevent this, and it's something that you can do that it's completely free and that everyone can do. So I strongly recommend that. I know that's really off topic, I just thought I'd bring that up. Anyway, the second movie I watched was Dead Awake. This is about sleep paralysis. Was not a fan. It was just all over the place. Would not recommend. I then watched Blade Trinity. Not really a big fan of that one, kind of. It was just action start to end, which I don't know what I expect. I watched Sam Was Here, which I did a review on. I then watched There Is Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. Liked it. I thought it was really interesting, but I felt like it was gonna go somewhere else, and there wasn't really, not that you really need a solution, but there wasn't really anything tying it all together. One thing I will say about it is super, super graphic, and it comes up with a warning at the start, I'm pretty sure, saying that there's graphic images in it, but the way it drives it home is just the most interesting thing ever. I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but there's an incident that happens in the movie, and they talk about it the whole time, and you're going back and forth, what happened, this and this and this, trying to work out all these theories. But then at the end of the film, they show the incident, and it was such a clever and profound way of a documentary really drilling in what you, like the viewer at home, are contemplating in your head. It's like saying if there was a conspiracy theory about a serial killer and everyone goes back and forth on the internet about it, and then you actually see him killing people or her killing people, it really drives that home to you, what you're really contemplating in your head. And I feel like so many times, especially us kind of people, we talk so openly and so like freely about really disturbing topics, and we're really desensitized. And I think it was just in a profound and amazing way to show what the incident actually was in black and white. And I thought that that was super interesting to put that at the end. I would recommend it if you do like disturbing documentaries, definitely. I then watched The Mummy, which, yeah, a lot more action than I remembered, but I dealt with it. It wasn't that bad. It was actually, you know what is funny about that movie? I really did not think that the graphics were gonna hold up that well, but they really did. I then watched A Night in the Woods, which I did a review for. I then watched Devil in the Dark, which I'm gonna do a review for my Patreons. I thought it was gonna be a movie where they go into the woods and it's like two brothers put aside their differences when they start getting hunted, but it's a completely different story than what you think it is. Also, it's one of those movies where I really, really liked the story, but I didn't like the way it was executed. It would be a great movie to be remade. But if you like different structures for movies, definitely check it out, because I thought, yeah, it just kept kind of flipping back and forth, and it was just really well structured, and the ending was really, really good. If you're curious about what I'm saying, I would recommend watching it, although I don't think it's that great. I think it's a great idea. I then watched Rough Night, which was so much better than I thought it would be. I didn't really have high expectations going in, and I went and saw it with a girlfriend, so we were just like, let's just have fun and it will be like quirky, but it was actually really good. Really good cast, really good story, you know, female driven. If you like Bridesmaids, you'll love it. Yeah, I really like that film. I then watched Catfight. Oh my God, guys. If I'm gonna recommend any movie to you, I know this is not horror by any means, but if I'm gonna recommend any movie to you, watch this movie, because I was just scrolling like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night at home, living the dream, and I came across this movie. It's about two women who meet after, like, when they're into their lives, but they went to college together, and they just have this back and forth. And it goes on through years, but I can't explain to you why it's so fucking clever without ruining it. But it is the weirdest movie I've ever seen. Like, that's a really big statement, but it's the weirdest drama I guess I've ever seen. Black comedy drama, because it was weird and it was smart, and it was all about relationships and how war affects lives and how war affects people and what battles do. And there was so many cool messages in it. I would really recommend it. Has such soul and such originality to it. Please watch this film. I rated it 4 stars out of 5. I would really recommend it. And it's on Netflix, so definitely check that out. I then watched The Woman Who Wasn't There, which I'm pretty sure I have seen before. It's the 9/11 story about the woman who claims that she, you know, was the survivor and her fiance died, and her husband or whatever. She goes back and forth in the story. I'm sure you guys all know about her and about the story and how crazy she was, never even in the country. It was a big story, and I just watched this one. It was like a little micro documentary, just a smaller documentary. And I thought maybe I had seen it, watched it, had no information that I didn't know. So I think I have seen it before is what I'm trying to say. But I thought it was super interesting and yeah, just bizarre. After that, I watched My Sex Robot, which was just a short documentary on Netflix about, it's pretty gross, about, I mean, if you're into that, whatever. But it's about guys who, and yeah, pretty much all guys who want to have sex with robots. And it's not even like they want to have sex with like sex dolls because they can't get any. It's like they actually want robots. One of the guys has a girlfriend and he's trying to like make her pretend to be a robot. It's really weird. And they say in the very beginning, when the guy says, I want to have sex with this robot because I want to be in control, and when I want to have sex, I want to be able to do it, and I don't want her to say no, and I don't want to like hear any shit from her. He was admitting up front exactly what kind of person you think you'd expect him to be, which you have to respect when people know they're fucked up and they say that kind of stuff. It was interesting. It's very short. I would recommend it. I then watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space with my Patreons on a live hangout we did. It was pretty cool. I love that movie. Never gets old. And I'm pretty sure Dean wants to get the costumes for Halloween. So keep an eye out for that. I then watched The Mummy Returns. It was awful. I'm not even gonna bother. I then watched Murder on the Social Network, which was another Netflix mini documentary. I didn't think it was very great. I don't know, it just went back and forth too much and it just wasn't put together very well. I wouldn't recommend it. I then watched When the Bell Breaks, and it was a documentary about postpartum depression, which I thought was interesting because I don't really know anything about that, and I saw it and I was like, hey, I should educate myself. But it was one of those movies that went back and forth like so much, and they didn't really have any clean message or any like arc. It was just put together all wrong, to be really honest with you. I then watched Michael Lost and Found, which started me on like this rampage. So I think it's called I Am Michael. Yes, it's called I Am Michael, and it's a movie with James Franco, and it's based on a true story about two gay activists, and then one of them like turns into a Christian and like denounces it and said that he was never gay. That's what I kind of get from that. But the documentary that I watched, which is only like a 19-minute documentary, is the actual real people coming back together after everything that happened. And it made me really want to watch the movie, even though the movie looks so fucking heartbreaking. So it really got me interested in that movie. So I'm really trying to track that down at the moment. But I did really like it, but it was just something to hype up the movie really more than anything. I then watched Polytechnique, which was a movie given to me by my Patreon, Tom. Hey, Tom. Which is a Canadian film about a college shooting that took place like in real life, and it was just about that. So it's like kind of reenacted. The movie was when you watch these, what do you expect? And they're based on true stories. It's just heartbreaking, really, isn't it? Difficult to watch at times, but it was a great movie, and I would recommend if you're into that. I don't know. Great movie, good to learn about what happened, but just a sad situation. I then watched Dirty Girl, which I believe was on Stan or Netflix, probably Stan, and it's about a girl who goes to find her father, and she's never had a father her whole life. I can relate if you get my drift there. So I kind of felt it like heartwarming at times, but it was just a weird comedy trying very, very hard. But it was good to turn on for background noise. I don't know, I got some kicks out of it. I only rated it 2 out of 5, but I don't know, it was interesting. I then watched The Woods. It's a horror movie from 2006, and it is about a bunch of girls who are in this, like boarding school, and then the woods around them start like giving them messages, and it gets a bit witchy, if you get my drift. It's a weird movie, but it has Bruce Campbell in it. I'm gonna leave it at that because I do have a review coming for it. And then I watched A Cure for Wellness. Yay, I finally saw it. It took me how long? Dean really enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. I just was very confused. It was very different to what I thought it would be like, which was good. It is about a guy who goes to Switzerland to get back like a CEO of the company he works at, and the guy's in this wellness retreat and then kind of gets stuck there. And I thought that was like a very simple storyline, but it's not like that at all, and it's very detailed and you have to pay a lot of attention. I just didn't understand the ending. I didn't understand where the main character was coming from, is what I mean in that. But I didn't mind it. I rated it the same as The Woods. And the last film I saw was Hypersomnia, and I actually just did a review on that, so check that out. And that's all I watched this month. I watched a lot of like documentary stuff, I felt like, but I feel like I have been slowing down on horrors lately, and I really just need to get back into it. But It Comes at Night isn't out till July 7th here, so when that comes out, I'm very, very excited to see it. I have a couple other things I really want to mention to you guys, mainly being a podcast that I caught on to, which is called Good Morning Nancy. I actually found them because I think that they retweeted something of mine, and then I was like, oh, this looks interesting, and I like started going through their stuff, and then I listened to their podcast, and they're 2 really cool chicks from New York, and their podcast is really clean, really well produced, and they just talk about a different horror movie every time. They really go in. Where, you know, with my like reviews, I don't really give too much detail. I don't like giving anything away. So it was really good. They have like 30 minutes to an hour kind of like chats, maybe 40 minutes, about a movie and all the details and everything they thought and their little theories. And I thought it was really cool. Like, you can really tell how much love they have for the movie. Really enjoyed their podcast. One thing I forgot to mention is that I am doing Dry July. If you don't know what Dry July is, it is when you stay sober for a whole month, the whole month of July. You do this for a few reasons, and the main one is to raise money for a charity. I'm raising money for my cancer council. I'm gonna leave the link here though, because I think if you guys have $1 spare and you wanna support me and support a good cause, I'm not drinking for the whole month, and every dollar counts. I just wanted to mention this quickly so that when my July video comes out, you guys knew about it beforehand. For the monthly mission, I felt like Netflix was a huge theme for this month for me. Like, I watched so much Netflix lately, just being so much easier to watch a movie through there other than sourcing it somewhere else. So I think that we should do a little poll kind of thing in between each other. And how about you write your favorite movie that's on Netflix, or like favorite hidden movie that you think that people should watch, and it's readily available to everybody, so we need to watch it, and leave that down in the comments. And before you write yours, go down and make sure that someone else hasn't written it, and then thumbs up them if they have written it, because then we can kind of have a poll, and then the one that is liked the most, maybe I'll do a review on or something like that. Let me know if you're into that. Maybe I'll just do a review and put it on my Facebook. But let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, guys, thank you so much for being here. We nearly had 7,000. This is insane. This whole journey is insane. Hope you are having a great day, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.